mettait en pile l'emphase sur l'argent.
And we put a lot of emphasis on money.
Depuis tantôt, 3 dimanches, pourquoi je dis le troisième dimanche qu'on a parlé de lui.
For 3 Sundays, I believe this is the 3rd Sunday.
Parce que il y a un bagage qui posait, c'est que
Because one of the things that
en pile fois, nous peut parler
often we fear speak
de ça nous remet.
of what we like.
Parce que nous pas les monde connaît que
Because we don't want people to
nous
know
remet
that
l'argent.
we like money.
Et nous prenons qu'à faire
And there's nothing you can
sans
do
l'argent.
without money.
Et la majorité des gens qui fait des autres dans la rue.
And majority of people that are creating
Ils
disorder
font pour l'argent.
outside,
Et la majorité des gens qui sont d'accord.
and those that
En d'autres
agree,
termes, les gens
so in
d'accord à
other terms,
l'école,
if you
tout.
agree with
On est d'accord avec ton
you
éducation.
agree with education,
On est d'accord
you
travail.
agree to work.
Et parce que dans la tête,
It's because in your mind,
on a besoin d'argent.
you need money.
Mais dimanche dernier, nous
But
avons un
last
sujet qui
Sunday,
était
we had a
dit,
subject that said,
et si l'argent
and if money
serait différent
was different
de ce que vous connaissez.
than what you've known.
Et c'est un sujet ça va continuer avec les
And it's this that we'll
aujourd'hui.
continue today.
Et si l'argent serait
And if money
différent
was different
de ce que vous connaissez.
than what you knew.
Dans le livre d'Ecclésiaste,
In the book of Ecclesiastes,
Salomon déclarait,
Solomon declares,
et m'a répété,
and I'll repeat,
l'argent
money
répond à
answers
tout.
everything.
L'argent répond à
Money answers
tout.
everything.
Et nous te lisons dans Ecclésiaste chapitre 10, verset 19.
And we read in Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse
Et nous avons demandé
19.
pour lire pour nous.
And we asked to read
On
it.
fait des
for us.
repas pour se divertir.
Nous fait manger pour divertir nous.
Le vin rend la vie joyeuse
Du vin lui rend vie joyeuse.
et l'argent répond à tout.
Et l'argent répond à tout. Et nous te dit que la version originale
We told you that the
dit
original
l'argent
version says
répond
money
à
answers
toutes choses.
all things.
Cela traduit tout simplement que
This simply
mon
means
feedback
that.
là quelque part qui dérange mon père. Can you please fix that for me? Donc cela traduit tout simplement que
It simply means that
l'argent c'est la réponse
money is the
à tout ce
answer
qui est tangible.
to everything that is tangible.
Nous te dit l'argent c'est la réponse
And
à
we said
tout ce
money
qui
is the
est
answer to
d'ordre
everything
naturel.
that is natural.
Nous te dit l'argent est le
And we said
maître du
money
naturel.
is the master of the natural.
Cependant, nous t'allons allé plus loin pour te dire que l'argent contrôle à la
However,
fois
I want to go
le
further by
naturel
telling
et
you
le
that money controls
surnaturel.
both the natural and the supernatural.
Maintenant, nous te disons que l'on
But
pas
now
de
we said
l'argent,
when you don't have money,
bah, il pas trop bon pour. On-
things
on-
are not good for
on pas de
you. You
respect.
don't have
On
respect.
pas
People don't
respecter.
respect you.
L'on pas de l'argent,
When you don't have money,
tout bagage négatif semble.
Everything that's negative
Nous te disons
is
déjà dernièrement,
seems to be you.
monde
We
qui
told
gagne
you
l'argent, pas
before
jamais
that
tort.
people that have money are never at
les gens
fault.
qui gagnent l'argent, ils vont
If they have money, they're not at
D'ailleurs,
fault.
ils font bagage qui
So
mal,
when they do
l'on veut
something that's
dire mal.
wrong, when we say wrong,
Ils disent c'est parce que
they
vous
say it's
êtes
because
écrit.
you're.
Et là, ils raillent.
It's because you hate that person.
Monde qui gagne
The
l'argent
person
toujours
that has
gagne
money
raison.
always has reason.
Monde qui gagne l'argent toujours gagne gros
The people who
voix
have money
dans
always have
n'importe qui
a great
rencontre que vous
voice in whatever meeting they're in.
ça fait que bon Dieu
And
bon
that's
là
why God gave
l'argent.
money.
Maintenant, nous te clair, nous te dit que
And we were clear when we
problème
said
chrétien,
the problem
chrétien
that
évangélique,
Christians have,
c'est
evangelical
que
Christians,
yo
is
pas
that
comprendre,
they
y a
don't
demandé yo
understand. They're
bagage
asking for something
que yo pas gon compréhension
that they
exacte
don't
de
have
ça
an
demandé.
exact comprehension of what they're asking.
Nous toujours gagne l'argent dans
We
tête,
always
non?
have money on our mind,
Mais pourtant nous pas même
but yet
comme ça que
we
l'argent.
don't even know what money
On va prendre
is.
ça que l'argent.
We don't know what money is.
N'a pas un petit rappel rapide
And
pour
we're
les gens qui parlent
reviewing
là.
very
Nous te dit
quickly for those who are not
que
here. We
lorsque
told
nous
you
parlons
that
de l'argent,
when we speak about
première
money,
chose
the
qui vient
first
dans
thing
notre
that comes to your
tête,
mind
c'est le dollar.
is the American dollar.
Nous parlons de
When
l'argent.
we speak of money,
Deuxième bagage qui vient
the
dans
second
notre
thing that
tête,
comes
si
to
on
your
vit au
mind, if
Canada,
you're living in
c'est
Canada,
le dollar
is the
canadien.
Canadian dollar.
Si on vit
If you're
en
living
Europe, on
in
parle de
Europe,
l'argent,
when
ou
they
est
speak of
l'euro.
money, you see the euros.
Si on vit
If you're
au
living
Brésil,
in
on parle
Brazil,
de l'argent, ou est
when they speak of money, you see
je te dis, je m'oublie encore. Réa, c'est ça?
the reals.
Je dis, Réa, comment on dit qu'on est le deal, moi non? Nous tous perdons, on est Brésilien. Réa, ok.
the reals.
Donc, écoutez, on parlait de
And
l'argent,
when they
ouais,
speak of money,
c'est
you
pas de
see the
dire,
reals.
la mal, la barrière,
Because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
alors, on dit, tu dois me couper ça. Donc, on parlait de réas.
So they speak
Lorsqu'on
of
parlait de
reals.
l'argent au
When they
Brésil.
speak of money in Brazil.
Lorsqu'en Haïti, on parlait de l'argent, il y a la
And when they
gourde.
speak
Bien qu'en Haïti,
of
on a
money in
presque
Haiti,
pas
they
de
see the
gourde là
good.
encore. Cependant, nous te disons
Yet,
que si
we
tout
told you that
élément
if
ça
all of
est
these
au l'argent,
elements, you call them money.
l'arrivée en
Then
façon
when you reach
Bitcoin,
it in the face of a
c'est
Bitcoin, that is
crypto-monnaie,
cryptocurrency.
l'arrivée en face sur carte de débit,
when you reach a debit card.
comment on carré ça?
What would you call this?
Sur les dollars
If you call the
américains, sur
American
les
dollar,
dollars
if you call the
canadiens, sur les
Canadian
euros à
dollar, if you
l'argent.
call the
Lorsqu'on
euro
carte
money,
de débit dans la main,
then
comment
a debit
on
card in your hand, what do you call it?
Lorsque on a une carte
When
mobile,
you have a mobile
on aller au
card,
téléphone,
you
entrer dans le store
pay
et
your
puis
phone and you enter the store and you pay.
Est-ce qu'on carré ça là?
Can you call this money?
Et comment relais les gens qui
What do
payent
you call
facture
those
avec la
who
paume
pay
de leurs mains?
with the palm of their hand?
Institutions pareilles
Some
que quand on
institutions,
arrive,
you
lorsque
just
on paye,
appear,
ou pas
and when
besoin
you
d'aller
pay,
au bout
you
dollar
don't need to take
ou pile
a
monnaie dans la
bundle
poche,
of money in
ou
your
juste
pockets, you just
avec paume main
appear
ou
with the
payer.
palm of your hand and pay.
Dans les pays asiatiques surtout,
In the Asiatic countries,
quelques rares states aux États-Unis,
rare
ils disent que
states
ça,
in the United States,
qu'on
they say they have
a ce qu'on
this
appelle le paiement facial.
There's facial payment.
Ou acheter, chaque fois acheter dans
Where
le
you
market
pay
là,
everything that you
ou
pay in the
passer devant le
supermarket,
frigo, le clic, ou
it's-
passer
you
devant le
just
frigo,
appear
le
with your
clic,
face
et puis l'arriver
and
pour
swipe,
côté pour payer, ou l'on
and
le
then
frigo, voup, et puis pim, ou payer.
You paid.
Maintenant, comment tu as carré
But
ça?
what
Est-ce que
would
tu as
you call
carré ça
this
l'argent?
if you call those money?
Je te dis que, également,
And we said
n'est-ce pas,
equally,
et une bagaille que comprendre,
one of
c'est
the
que
things
nous différencier l'argent de
is that
monnaie.
we
L'argent
confuse
de
money and
monnaie.
currencies.
Le dollar américain,
The
la
American
gourde,
dollar, the
c'est
gourde
monnaie. Et nous
are
disons que monnaie,
currencies. We
il
said
prend valeur ou
currencies take a
perd valeur
value or loses
dépendamment
value
de
depending
qui
on
côté où il est.
where you are.
Nous te montrons qu'on
And we
est
showed
qui
you
a
that
1
a man
million
that
de
has 1
gourdes en
million
Haïti.
good in Haiti, when they come here to the United States, they only have about $7,000.
1 million de gourdes.
So yet in Haiti they had 1 million
Il n'est pas même pas 10 000 $. Pourtant en
But
Haïti,
it's
ils
not
sont
even
millionnaires. Ici,
10,000
il n'y a
in
pas
US dollars.
rien. Donc ça
And
veut
here
dire
they
que
had nothing but Haiti.
monnaie change valeur.
So
Monnaie
currencies
prend
change
valeur.
value,
Monnaie
currencies
perdu valeur
loses
en
value,
fonction
gains value in the
de
function
zone, en
of
fonction
the area
de situation
or the
quelconque.
situation.
C'est-à-dire que de ce fait, l'argent est d'ordre spirituel.
So money is spiritual.
L'argent est immatériel.
Money
Ce qu'on
is
se connaît, c'est
immaterial.
que l'argent
What you need to
est
know is that money
immatériel.
is
Monnaie change de
immaterial.
valeur, mais
Currency
l'argent en
changes
soi
value,
ne
but
change
money
pas de
does
valeur.
not
Parce
change
que
value.
on pas qu'à
Because you
toucher
cannot
l'argent, on
touch
pas qu'à
money.
manier
You
l'argent,
cannot
on pas ouer
touch,
l'argent.
you can't see
L'argent
money.
est d'ordre
Money
spirituel. Voilà
is
pourquoi
spiritual.
l'argent
And
est
that's
mené
why
par un
money
esprit
is
qui
driven
sait,
by a
par un Dieu
spirit,
qui sait
by a
mammon.
God that is mammon.
Et ça que moi avant on aurait l'argent.
And what you and I call money,
Bon Dieu relève, Jésus
God,
relève
Jesus
richesse
calls it
injuste.
worldly wealth.
Donc nous dit puisque l'argent
So we
c'est
say
un
because
esprit,
money is a
n'est-ce pas?
spirit.
Voilà pourquoi ou pas
And that's
acquérir
why
l'argent.
you
L'argent c'est quelque
cannot
chose
touch
que
it,
l'on
or
donne.
you don't
Ou pas
receive money, but you're
acquérir
given.
l'argent. L'argent c'est
You
bagaille
don't
que
receive or
ou pas
get
ou.
money.
Ça fait
It's something that you are given.
l'on
That's why
lever le matin
when you
ou
wake up in the morning, you go to
ou
work,
travail pour
you don't go
monnaie,
to work
ou travail
for
pour currency,
cur-
ou pas le travail pour
you work for
l'argent.
currencies, but you don't
Parce
work
que
for money.
là, ils payent au
Because
salaire
when they
bon, là,
pay you, what they
c'est pas
give
l'argent,
you is not money.
c'est monnaie.
It's currencies.
Et c'est ça que fait, et même monnaie, ça
And
va
the same currencies that they give you, there's other places where you go with it, it's not worth the same thing. The currencies change value, loses value.
Longtemps ici, l'entrée dans le market avec un billet
Here, a long
de
time
$100
ago, when you came
au
to the
gros
supermarket
chariot.
$100,
Et qu'on
you
a
have a
rentré un
great
billet
cart,
$100,
and now
presque
you
sorti
enter
à des mauvais, donc c'est ça,
$100, and you only have a juice or a bag in your hand. And finally, you question, did they steal the money? You look at the receipt and you see if they didn't charge you something 2 or 3 times because you don't see what you bought for $100. But yet the same $100, it didn't change. It has the same number, but it doesn't have the same value. Why? Because it doesn't have the same spirit attached to it. It doesn't have the same value. So currencies change value, but money does not change value.
Et voilà pourquoi Jésus,
And that's why
le psalmiste qui est inspiré
or the
par
psalmist
Dieu,
that's inspired
dans Malachie
by
chapitre
God
3,
would say in
pardon,
Malachi chapter 3,
dans Psaume,
I'm sorry, it will say in Psalm
127 verset 2,
127 verse 2, this is what it says. It says,
Amen.
Il va dire dans Somme 127, verset 2, il va dire en
Psalm
vain.
127,
En vain
verse
vous
2.
levez-vous matin,
Il dit en vain ou lever matin,
vous couchez-vous tard,
ou coucher tard,
et mangez-vous le pain de
ou
douleur.
manger le pain de douleur.
Il en donne autant à ses
Il
bien-aimés.
dit mais où est ça qu'il faut lever le matin ou à
See,
courir,
what makes you
ou
wake up in the morning and
avec
running
douleur.
with
Il
pain?
baille même
He
bagaille
gives the same thing
à mon palio
to his
pendant leur
people
sommeil.
qu'il est pendant la
while they sleep.
Est-ce que ça veut dire bon Dieu tout pas travail?
Does that mean God said don't
Ça veut
work?
dire bon Dieu tout
Does
pas
that mean
lever pour
God said
travail?
don't get up to work?
Il dit
No.
mais où est
He
ça qu'il
said, but you
fait
see,
d'être au chaud,
what makes your head hot, what makes you run to wake up, often you have accidents, and you're on the streets and you're honking and you're crossing over red lights and you run. But he said he gives to his people the same thing while they sleep. So in other terms, money is spiritual.
L'argent c'est d'abord un esprit.
Is first a
L'argent c'est
spirit.
d'abord une
Money is
idée.
first an
L'argent c'est
idea.
d'abord
Money
la
is
personne qui
first
se
and foremost
trouve
the people
autour de toi.
around.
Donc, il en donne autant à ses bien-aimés.
So he gives to his beloved
En d'autres termes, cher
while
ami,
they sleep.
il en donne autant à ses bien-aimés pendant leur sommeil.
So in
Pour
other
ça,
terms,
parce
he gives to
que
them while
les
they
meilleures
sleep because
idées
the best
viennent au
ideas
moment de notre
come
sommeil.
while you sleep.
Les meilleures idées,
The best
ils
ideas
finissent au moment
they
de notre
come
sommeil.
while you
Les
sleep.
meilleures pensées
best
viennent
thoughts
au moment de
come
notre sommeil. Pour
while
qui
you
ça?
sleep.
Parce
Why?
qu'au moment
Because
du sommeil,
during sleep,
le soma, n'est-ce pas, qui est le
soma,
corps,
that
il est
is
au
the
repos.
body, is at
Et au moment
rest.
du sommeil,
And
le
while
psyché,
you
qui est
rest,
l'esprit
the
et les autres
psyche
travaillent.
that is this
Donc au moment
mind
du sommeil,
is at
le
work.
corps est en
So
repos,
while you're sleeping,
mais
your body
l'esprit
is at rest, but the
continue à
mind
travailler.
continues
Voilà
to work.
que un ensemble de
And there's a
révélations,
bunch of
un ensemble
revelations,
d'idées,
a bunch of
un
ideas,
ensemble de bagailles que
a
bon
bunch
Dieu
of
lui
things
décide de
God
barouler
decides
pendant
to
que
give to
le soma,
while
pendant que la
soma,
chair se
while the
repose
body, the
et que
flesh
l'esprit
rests, and the
continue à
mind
travailler.
continues to work.
Peut-être que me rappelez
And allow me to
que
remind
tout comme
you
l'argent
that
est d'ordre
just
spirituel,
as money is
il est
spiritual,
contrôlé par le
is
Dieu mammon,
controlled by the
eh bien
God
la
Mammon,
pauvreté
well,
également
poverty
est d'ordre
equally
spirituel.
is spiritual.
Même si on a l'argent,
The same way that you
ou pas
see
qu'à
money,
toucher,
you cannot
ou pas
touch
qu'à
money,
manier,
you
ou
cannot
pas qu'à
touch it,
ouel,
you
ou
cannot
pas qu'à
see it, you
garder,
cannot look at it.
la pauvreté
Poverty
est aussi
is as
d'ordre
well
spirituel. Au point que,
spiritual.
quand
To the
on
point
dit
that
pile
some people who
monnaie,
have so much
on dit pile
currencies have a
dollar dans
bunch
compte
of
en
dollars
banque,
in their
quand on
bank
dit
account,
pile
have a
dollar
bunch
dans poche
of
li,
dollars in their
qui
pockets,
a vécu mal.
yet are living wrong. Some people, they have so much dollars for the way that they're living. You say, are you, is it true? Because they're always living in poverty.
Parce que monnaie
Because the currencies is not money. Well,
n'est pas quelque chose qu'on peut
It's not
toucher.
something that you can
De même que la
touch.
pauvreté.
So poverty is spiritual.
Et esprit qui est attaché,
spirit that's
si
attached,
derrière l'argent, le Dieu
If
qui
by
contrôle
money, the
l'argent,
God that controls money
c'est
is
mammon,
mammon,
eh bien, il y a un esprit qui contrôle
there's
la
a
pauvreté.
spirit that
Et
controls
la Bible
poverty,
les
and the
esprit
Bible
ça,
calls this
le
spirit
dévoreur.
the devourer.
Et qui t'aime dire,
And let me tell you,
c'est seul esprit,
it's the only spirit
personne ne va chasser.
that no one can
Le
chase
dévoreur.
or rebuke.
Et ça, quand
The
on
devourer.
dit, esprit de
That's why when they say the
chasser,
spirit of poverty, I rebuke you, that's not true.
le business.
That's a business.
On chasse tout esprit.
You rebuke all spirits,
L'esprit de
but the
pauvreté,
spirit of poverty,
pas qu'à chasser
you
ça.
cannot rebuke that.
répondez-vous.
Repeat it for you.
Tout le monde dit,
If you hear someone say,
répétez.
repeat,
esprit de
the
pauvreté,
spirit of poverty,
chassez-le.
I rebuke you,
pas ok?
do not listen
On
to
ne
them.
chasse pas.
You do not rebuke
l'esprit
the spirit
de pauvreté.
of poverty.
Mais ça va dire dans Malachie 3, verset 11.
This is what the Bible says in Malachi
Il
3,
dit,
verse 11.
Pour vous, je
It
menacerai
says,
celui qui dévore,
pour vous, m'a menacé celui-là qui dévorait,
et il ne vous détruira pas les fruits de la
et
terre.
il va détruire les fruits de la terre.
Et la vie ne sera pas stérile dans vos campagnes,
Et la vie ne sera pas stérile dans la campagne.
dit l'Éternel des armées.
Mais qui ça dit là?
What does it say?
Est-ce que dit pour vous,
It says, for
je chasserai
your
ceux qui
sakes,
dévorent?
I will rebuke the
Pour
devourer.
vous, je menacerai. m'a menace parce que l'esprit de
Because the
pauvreté,
spirit of
c'est le
poverty that is the devourer,
même Dieu pas dans business
even God is not
pour
in the
le chasser.
business to rebuke it.
Les menaces parce que c'est la pauvreté
Because it's
qu'il
poverty
faut donner importance.
that makes you give
à la
importance to riches.
Même Jean Dieu
The
n'a pas
same
de
way
business
that
pour
God
chasser
is not
le
in this
mal.
business
Il n'est pas dans
to
business non plus pour chasser la pauvreté.
eliminate
D'ailleurs, il dit c'est lui créé.
poverty or bad.
Donc
In
la
fact, he said he's on
pauvreté
the
c'est de
stage, so
l'esprit.
poverty is a
Donc il n'est
spirit.
pas dans le plan de
So it's
Dieu
not in the
pour
plan of God
éliminer
to
le
eliminate
dévoreur.
the
Parce que certaines
devourer,
fois
because
Dieu utilise
certainly
le
he
dévoreur
uses the
le pas
devourer when you
bien.
don't want to walk correct.
Il dit il a
He says
menacé
he will
le dévoreur.
rebuke the
Maintenant,
devourer.
ennemi, puisque
Yet the enemy,
conscient de ça,
because he's conscious of
puisque
this, because
conscient
they
que
know
l'argent est d'ordre
that money
spirituel,
is spiritual,
puisqu'ils comprennent
because
ça
they
qu'a
understand
changé
that
la
what's
vie,
hidden
c'est pas seulement lever le travail,
not only
c'est
when
une
you
idée,
get up,
c'est
it's
une
an idea,
pensée
it's a
que
thought
bon Dieu
that
mettait
God
dans
puts
vous-même
in
au
you
moment du
at the
sommeil.
moment that
Et là,
you
nous dit
sleep.
sommeil, il n'est
And
pas
when we say
nécessairement
sleep, it's
dire
not
on va
necessarily
dormir.
when
Il
you
veut
go to
dire au
sleep. It
moment
means
du
at the
repos,
moment
au
that
moment
you
de
rest, at the moment
concentration
that
avec
you're in a
Dieu, au
concentration
moment
with
de la
God, at the
méditation,
moment of
au moment de chita, quand ça va
meditation, you're just sitting
méditer
like this
en
and you're
dedans, et puis
meditating
l'Esprit
inside
de
of you,
Dieu
and the Spirit
parle
of
une
God gave you
idée,
an
l'Esprit de
idea.
Dieu parle
The
une
Spirit of God
bagaille,
gave
et
you
puis
something.
ça a changé la vie.
And this
L'Esprit
changes
de
your
Dieu
life. The
voyons
Spirit of
contre le monde,
God
lui
send
voyons
you
nos
to
zones,
someone,
et monde
send
ça a
you to an
changé la
area,
vie. C'est
and
ça,
this will change
les
your life.
bails
That's what they
autant
call,
à
he
ses
gave
serviteurs
time to
pendant leur
servants,
sommeil.
or he gave
Mais
it to them
puisque
while
le
they
diable
slept.
comprend,
So
puisque
because the
l'ennemi
devil
comprend
understands, the enemy
que ça a
understands
changé
that
la
what
vie,
can change
c'est
your
pas
life
currency,
is
c'est
not
pas
currency,
monnaie,
it's
c'est une
not
pensée,
currency, but
c'est
it's a
une
thought,
idée,
it's
bon
an
Dieu,
idea that
capable
God
par où
can
qui ça
give
le
you.
fait.
What does he
Il
do?
fait sûr que
He makes sure
au
that
cours de la journée,
throughout the
il
day,
prend esprit
he takes your
en
mind
otage.
as hostage.
Il prend esprit en
Takes
otage
your
pour
mind
ça.
as
Parce que
hostage.
pour
Why?
communiquer,
Because
du moins
for you
pour
to
Dieu
communicate or
communiquer
for
avec
God to communicate
faut
with
un
you,
esprit
there
libre.
must be
Faut un
a
esprit
mind that's
libéré.
free
Faut une
or a
phase
mind
de
that's at ease.
méditation à
You
Dieu.
must be
Faut
in the
une
phase of
position
meditation
pour
with God, in a
capable de
position
parler.
for
Qu'est-ce que ça
God
le
to
fait?
speak with you.
Au cours de
What
la
does he do?
journée,
Throughout the
pendant
day,
que le corps
while the
fonctionne,
body is
il
functioning,
utilise ça,
he
il
uses
prend
this and he
esprit
takes
en
your
otage.
mind as hostage.
Et une des bagages que l'utilisait pour prendre
And one of the
esprit en
things
otage,
that he uses to take
il
your
prend
mind
esprit
as
en otage
hostage, he
à travers la
takes as
technologie.
hostage through technology.
Les marier esprit
He
nous
ties
à
our
travers
mind
la technologie.
through technology.
Qui t'aime dire?
And let me tell you,
Pas parmi les gens qui croient
I'm not among
que la
those who
technologie est
believe
du diable.
that
Pas parmi
technology
les
is
gens qui
of the
croient ça.
devil. I'm not a part of the people
Toutefois,
who believe
moi
this.
parmi les gens qui croient
However,
que
I'm
le
of those
diable
who believe
utilisait la
that the devil
technologie
uses
pour rendre
technology
moi captif.
to hold you and I
Répétez-vous.
hostage.
Moi pas parmi les gens qui
I'll repeat
croient
it for you.
que
I'm not
la
a part of the
technologie
people who
est du
believe
diable.
that technology is
Toutefois,
of the
moi parmi les
devil,
gens qui croient
but I
que
am a part
le
of those who
diable
believe that the
utilisait la
devil
technologie
uses
pour
technology
rendre moi avec
to
vous
take
captif.
you and I as hostage.
Parce que, chers amis dans le Seigneur,
Because my dear friends in the
notre temps
Lord,
que nous
in the
vivons,
time that we're living,
notre esprit
Our
les
minds
trouve sous ça
are under
l'empire de la nouvelle technologie,
the
de la nouvelle
influence
technologie, pardon.
of
Dans le
new
temps que nous
technology.
vivons
In the
là,
time that we're
si mon
living,
bagage qui contrôle
if there's
l'esprit
something
moi
that
avant
controls
plus,
our minds
c'est
the
pas
most,
Dieu,
it's
c'est
not
pas des
God,
cantiques,
it's not
si mon bagage qui
songs,
contrôle
it's
l'esprit
the
moi
things that
avant plus,
control our mind the
les
most
Instagram.
is called
C'est mon bagage qui
Instagram.
contrôle
Something that
l'esprit moi
controls our
avant
mind
plus,
the
les
most is
YouTube.
called
C'est
YouTube.
mon bagage qui
Something
contrôle
that
l'esprit
controls
moi avant
our
plus,
minds the
les
most
Facebook.
is Facebook.
Le diable mettait nos
devil
shit à nos
puts
prisons.
us in a
J'ai l'impression que l'ennemi a
prison.
utilisé la technologie, les occuper
believe that
l'esprit nous. Leur lever
The devil
le
uses
matin
technology
avant
and
ouvert
occupies you.
Bible.
Before, when you wake up in the morning, before you pray, before you open your Bible, the first thing that you do, you open
c'est
the
WhatsApp
Facebook
ou
page. You open
checker,
WhatsApp
c'est
to check it.
YouTube ou
You open
regarder.
YouTube
Ou
to look.
décider pas
You
venir
decide to
l'église.
not come to the
Ou pas
church.
chercher un
You
espace pour
don't
adorer
look
mon Dieu
for a
pour qui
place
ça.
to worship
Parce que
God.
les
Why?
jours, on va
Because he
jouer un
said
service
you'll
dans
find the
YouTube.
service on
On va jouer un
YouTube.
service
You'll
dans
find the
Facebook.
service on
On pas
Facebook.
besoin de
You don't need
l'église.
to come to the
On met à
church. You can
travail.
go to
On
work.
met être la caillou.
You can stay
On pas
at
besoin de
home.
marcher dans
You don't need
l'église.
to go
On
to
pas
a
besoin
church.
de bon
You
pasteur.
don't need to have
Parce
a
qu'à
pastor.
travers
Because
YouTube,
through
on
YouTube,
doit ici,
you
on
can
va
be
suivre un
here
service en
and you're
Allemagne.
watching
On
a
va suivre un
service
service
in
en
Germany.
Afrique.
You're
On
watching
va
a
suivre un
service
service
in
n'importe qui
Africa.
côté.
You're watching
Les
a
bons,
service
ils
somewhere else.
contrôlent
He
l'esprit.
takes you and he
Et qui
controls your
sont
mind.
faits
What do you
pendant
do?
la caillou.
While
Voici
you're
Si vous service sur YouTube, même moment annonce, eh bien, bon bagage qui monte, bon théâtre qui monte, bon blague qui monte, on est qui
joke
te service
appeared,
à longtemps.
another video appeared, and you left the service and you look at this joke. You look at this gossip, and the time for you to come back is something that could change your life, something that could change your soul, something that could change the person that you are. Automatically you have lost it. Why? Because the devil assured him that he took us as hostage with this question of Facebook. And now the church has no members anymore because everyone is an e-member. They sit online. They watch the service on Facebook. They watch the service on YouTube. They don't have people to meet. They don't have people to speak with them. They don't need to speak with you because when they come on YouTube, they take a piece of this service, they take a piece of the worship here, they take the preach over there, they take something else here. So another term, you are without a shepherd, you are without a leader, you're without a pastor, and you're occupied by the question of Facebook. You occupy your mind with Facebook and YouTube when you take the phone, even though there's a Bible in it. But when you go on, while you're about to call, you say, let me call this person. And while you call this person, a notification appears, and you click it, and you look at it, and you go to Reels, isn't that right? And you finish one, another appear, you swipe, another one appear, you swipe, another appear, you swipe. And then you just look, you spent 1 year here, 1 hour here, 2 hours here, and you even forgot that you were supposed to call your aunt, you were supposed to call your mother, you forgot that you were looking for a verse, and finally your mind is controlled, and when you realize that you have someone next to you, you didn't even know if they're next to you, you even forgot if that person is here, you each are on your phone, you're swiping, you came from this and you go to this, you don't speak anymore, you don't communicate anymore, you don't get tell jokes anymore, you don't need to know what everyone else is doing anymore, you each are swiping because it occupies our minds, it occupies our thoughts, it occupies our mind, and puts us as hostages. And the second thing that he uses, our mind is held hostage by TikTok. There's a bunch of enjoyment on TikTok. We go from YouTube and you pass Facebook and you go to Instagram and you go to TikTok and you find jokes, you find enjoyment, you find ambience, you find amusement. Your mind is controlled, and you just look and see that you held your phone in your hand at 10 in the morning, and when it died, then you put it somewhere else, and it's already 2, it's already 1. And it's not even on your day. Some people are terrible even when their phone doesn't have charge. They find a charger, they plug it because they don't want to lose the last part of this talk. Your mind is controlled. It takes your mind of you and I as hostage. We don't have time to communicate with God. We don't have time for God to speak with us. While things are serious, God begins in spirit. And he holds our mind as hostage. Outside of technology, he holds our mind as hostage. Some people, if you open their mind, the only thing that you will see is sex. Some people are controlled by sex. They cannot live without sex. Their mind is focused. They're in the job, they're watching bottoms. A woman passes in front of them. If the woman passes, he already undressed them. A young man passes, they already see them. They're controlled. Their mind is controlled. It controls our mind. It controls our minds through alcohol and drugs. Some people cannot function without alcohol. Some people have lost their jobs because of this. They cannot. They have to drink. They have to drink alcohol. They have to smoke. Some people, when the time comes to post something, and they don't know their mother, they don't know their father, they don't know their brother, they don't know their sister. And let me tell you, some people, even if when they're in church, they have a time that they come to smoke. A time our mind is controlled by alcohol and drugs. It occupies our mind. It puts our mind in hostage. Some people
L'ennemi a occupé l'esprit
The enemy occupies our mind
par ce qu'on appelle
through what they call
la monnaie
money,
et la prostitution.
currencies,
Quelqu'un qui est
and
livré de la
prostitution.
prostitution.
Some people
Juste
throw
parce
themselves
que
in
dans l'esprit,
prostitution
ils pensent qu'ils ont
because
besoin
in their
d'argent.
mind
For
they need money
currency.
or
Il y a des
currencies.
jeunes garçons qui livrent dans la prostitution.
Some young men
Ma vie,
throw
jeune
themselves
garçon.
into prostitution.
Les jeunes garçons pas
There's some
décidé de
young men who
travailler
don't
encore.
decide to work
Les jeunes
anymore.
garçons pas décidé de
They
faire
decide
business.
to not do
Les jeunes
business
garçons pas
anymore.
décidé de souffrir.
They decide to not
Parce que dans
suffer anymore
l'esprit,
because in their mind,
ils pensaient que
they
prostitution
think
fait
that
livrer
prostitution
rapide.
will
On a
let
monsieur,
them appear there
pendant
quick.
ce temps, je dis ça, je n'ai pas de problème avec le gym.
And I don't have a problem with those that go to the gym. While I say this, I go to the gym regularly. But there's some men you'll see in the gym, on the way that they're exercising, you see that they're preparing for something. I always say this, my friend, you cannot be a man and you go to the gym and you're trying to pump your bottom. In the gym, you're doing your biceps or your stomach or your chest. And if all their movements are for their bottom, that means why? Because in it, that's where they think that they will do something. You understand what I'm telling you? They're preparing their bottom. They put something to make their bottom round. They're looking for currencies. That's not what gives us. Some men are preparing themselves for a woman to take care of them. Some women, everything that they're doing, they don't need to go to school. They don't need to have a degree. They don't need to learn anything. Everything that they have, there's no one like this. It's just buy hair. Buy foundation, buy powder, buy. I don't say don't make yourself look nice, but some people, they only do these things to attract people because in their mind, it's a man that they must have to have currency. That's why they have 22, they have a man for each case. Why? Because they're in prostitution after currencies. Because for them, currency is money. And that's why we dirty ourselves. We drag ourselves. And we are always in a difficult situation because currency is the same way that it takes its value. Money, it can lose its value. But money does not lose its value.
Le diable utilise ces éléments
And the devil uses these
pour
elements
empêcher qu'on ait un
to
esprit qui
prevent
sait,
us to have a mind
pour
that is
empêcher qu'on ait un
holy, to
esprit
have
côté
a
que
mind
Dieu qui
where
communique
God
avec.
can communicate with
Il
you.
prend
And he
esprit
takes
en
our
otage.
mind as hostage.
Il prend esprit en otage
And he takes our mind as hostage
avec de fausses disputes,
with false
de
disputes,
fausses guerres.
with false war. Some people in their mind,
Faut toujours non compte.
they always have
Faut
to
toujours
be
non
at a
dispute.
dispute. They
Faut toujours
always
qu'on monde la fight
have to
avec.
have someone that they're fighting with. Some
Some
people,
people chita même.
they sit
Qui discussion
and they
t'as
say,
fait aujourd'hui?
what dispute can I do
Li pa ka
today?
rete
They
sans
cannot
pa non
stay
zin.
without
Li pa
giving
ka
a
rete sans
gossip. They
pa
cannot
non
stay
compte.
without
Li pa ka
being
fon ti temps en paix. Li pa ka
without
fon
fighting.
ti
They
temps sans pa
cannot
gon
stay
parle
at
pile.
peace or
Li pa
in a
ka
place
fon
where there's
ti
not
temps comme ça
people
parce que
talking too much. They cannot stay
l'esprit
because
en
their
otage.
mind is held as
Faut
hostage.
bagaille.
There must be
Faut
something.
qu'on zin.
There must
Faut
be a
qu'on
gossip. There
chalet.
must be a
Faut qu'on
heat.
moun
There
qui te
must be
dit.
someone
Faut
that
qu'on
said this.
bagaille
There
ou te
must be
fait.
something that you
Li
did.
pa ka
They
rete
cannot
comme ça parce
remain
que
like this because
l'esprit
their mind
en otage.
is in hostage. Some people
Qui pas ka rete
who can't remain
seul pas dans sorte de guerre.
without being in
Guerre
some type of war,
spirituelle.
a spiritual war.
Et toujours
they're always
guerre spirituelle.
in a
Ils doivent
spiritual
chercher
war. They're
épée.
always looking for a
Ils
sword.
doivent chercher
They're
roc.
always looking for stones.
Les toujours
They're
comme mauvais
always
esprit
have
derrière.
an
Les
evil
toujours
spirit
comme-
after them. They
comme
always have
diable.
a
Les
devil.
toujours
They
comme
always
captif les
have someone that's
bouteilles,
telling
ou non,
you you're in a
non, guerre
battle.
avec
They're in
l'esprit.
a battle
Les
with their
toujours un
mind.
diable,
They
toujours
always
un
see the
bâtard.
devil. They
Ils
always
voient
see
démons dans
evildoers.
toute
They see
bagaille.
demons and
Non,
everything.
guerre
A
spirituelle.
spiritual
Les-
war.
les pas
They
étudier, là,
do not
l'école,
study.
les
They
pas
don't
passer,
they go
les
to
tous ces
school.
diables.
They don't pass. They say it's the devil.
Les pas veulent
They
travail,
don't
les
want
pas
to work.
payer
They
bill,
cannot
tous
pay
ces
their
diables.
bills. They say it's the devil.
Donc, guerre.
They're in a war.
Qu'un bel
And
esprit ou
it's
non, guerre
held
spirituelle.
your mind in a spiritual war.
Et tout ça,
And everything.
l'ennemi utilisait ça
The enemy uses
pour
these
conduire dans
things
une instabilité.
to bring you into an
Que ça soit
instability,
l'instabilité
whether it may be
mentale.
a mental instability,
Que ça soit une
Whether it may be
instabilité
an
émotionnelle.
emotional instability,
Que ça soit
whether
une
it may be
instabilité
a
sentimentale.
sentimental instability,
Une
whether
instabilité
it may
économique et
be an
financière.
economic and financial
Une instabilité
instability,
sociale.
or a social instability.
Parce que
Because
ensemble d'instabilité ça yo,
all of these instabilities,
affecté
they affect
nan
your soul
directement.
directly.
Cher ami qui t'aime dire un bagage.
My dear friends, let me tell you something.
Ça ou chercher.
What you're looking for,
Si c'est l'argent ou
if it's
chercher.
money that you're looking for,
Seule façon
then the only way
pour gagner l'argent,
for you to have money
c'est là qui te bon
is when you
Dieu
let God
contrôler l'esprit.
control your
Ou
mind.
quand il y a monnaie,
You can have
Ou quand il y a
currencies,
pile billet
you can
dans
have a
banque,
bunch of bills in the
mais
bank,
ou pas gagner
but
la-
you don't
l'argent.
have
Et
money.
c'est ça qui fait que
And
moun
that's
qui te gagne
why
pile billet de banque.
Someone who has a bunch
Gan
of
pile moun qui te gagne
bank
pile billet
bills
de
or
banque dans
banknotes
poche yo.
in their
Yon
pockets,
inflation qui a fini avec.
and inflation could
Yon
end them.
dépression
A
économique
depression,
qui a fini
economic
avec
depression
lui.
can end
Mais
them.
lorsqu'on gagne
But when you
l'argent,
have money,
même si le
even
monde
if the
rasé,
world is
tout autant
breaking
que
down, as
vie,
long as
bon
you
Dieu
are
a
living,
toujours bon
God
une
will
idée.
always give you an
Il a
idea.
toujours bon une
God will
pensée.
always give you a
Il a
thought.
toujours
He
un bagage
will
dans
always
tête
put
tout,
something in
qui
your
fait que
mind
lorsque
that
monde
will
a
allow that when
souffri
people
là,
are suffering
ou fait un
here,
simple
then
bagage
you
li
do
marché.
something that's simple
Il y a
and
moun
it
qui a
works.
même
Some people
business
have the
avec
same
ou.
business
Li
as
est
you,
arrivé
and they
loin,
already
loin,
reached
loin,
far,
loin,
far, far,
loin.
far,
Parce que
far.
chaque matin,
Because
levé,
everything
bon
that
Dieu, par
every
nos
morning
pensées.
they wake
Chaque
up,
matin,
God gives
levé,
them
bon
an
idée
a thought.
nouvelle.
God, they
Chaque
have
matin,
every time they
levé,
wake
bon
up, they have
l'autre
a new
pensée.
idea. Every
C'est
time they wake up, they have another thought. They just remain like this and they
Bon
say,
changer
and they
ça.
say, let me
Bon
change
changer
this.
ça.
Let me
Et
change
là, il
this.
change ça,
And
ça
they only change this and
C'est
this
que
works.
tu comme ça,
If they just remain like this while they're walking,
pensez monter dans tête li.
and a thought
Il dit, comment
appeared in
faire
their
ça?
mind. They said, let
Et
me
puis
do
ça
this.
marchait.
And it
On
worked.
tellement occupé sur
But you're so
Facebook.
occupied
On
on
tellement
Facebook.
occupé
You're
sur
so
TikTok.
occupied on
On tellement
TikTok.
occupé
You're
sur
so
Instagram.
occupied on
On tellement
Instagram.
occupé
You're so
dans journée.
occupied
On tellement
on
occupé dans
speaking ill of
scène.
others,
Tellement occupé
of
dans parler en
gossip.
pile.
You're so
Pas de temps
occupied
pour
with
Dieu
speaking
communiquer.
so much you don't
Pas
have
de temps
time for
pour
God
Dieu
to
parler
communicate
avec.
with you,
On
for God
dit
to
ces
speak with
genres
you.
de choses.
Oh,
Les
he
bails
uses
à
these
un
things
balio
and
pendant le
gives his
soir, le
beloved
sommeil.
these while
Pendant le
they
sommeil.
sleep. While they sleep.
Mais tout le monde qui a fait succès,
Everyone that is
il vient à
successful,
partir de yon i,
it came from an idea,
à partir de yon pan,
from
yon pensée.
a thought.
Mais ou tellement occupé l'esprit.
But you occupy your
Tellement
mind.
occupé l'esprit dans
You
zè.
occupy your mind in gossip. You occupy your mind in speaking ill of others. You occupy your mind in criticizing people, in telling lies about other people. You occupy your mind in watching what does not concern you. My friend, let me tell you something.
Ouais, temps prend
You see the time you take
pour appeler business moun.
to watch others'
Énergie
business,
ça au bail
that
là.
energy that you give,
Même
the
énergie ça
same energy
t'as qu'à changer la vie.
could change your life
Sauter seulement
if you only
occuper business.
occupied your own
Mais nous tellement
business.
prendre dans la vie.
But we spend time watching over other people's things and looking at what other people are doing. We take time to look and see why do they do this, why do they have this, and we want to know. I didn't see that person with that person anymore. My friend, when that person was with that person, it wasn't you that put that person with that person. It's that person is not with that person, that doesn't concern you. Let that person do their stuff with that person, but you let God speak with you.
L'instabilité économique, financière et autres
Economic and financial instability and others,
bouger l'esprit yo.
it purges your mind and affects
Parce que
your
bagage que
soul.
vous voulez comprendre, cher ami dans le Seigneur.
Because it's something I want you to understand, my dear friends, the Lord, the money
La
that you're looking for,
prospérité qu'on va
the
chercher,
prosperity that you're looking
lié
for,
directement à
is linked directly with the state of your soul. I'll repeat it for you. What you're looking for is linked directly with the state of your soul. That means if your soul is not in a good state, then you won't know prosperity. If your soul isn't in a good state.
Jean écrit à Gaius
John wrote to Gaius
dans 3 Jean chapitre 1er.
in 3 John chapter 1,
verset 1 et 2, mais ça
verse
dit.
1 and 2, this is what it
L'ancien
says.
Il dit l'ancien
à Gaius,
à Gaius,
le bien-aimé,
le bien-aimé,
que j'aime de la
que
vérité.
m'aimait de la vérité.
Bien-aimé,
Il dit bien-aimé.
je souhaite que tu prospères à tous
Moi
égards
souhaiter que prospérer dans tout domaine.
et sois en bonne santé,
Moi souhaiter en bonne santé.
comme prospère l'état de ton
Moi
âme.
souhaiter prospérer, même j'en ai mon prospérer. Et ça fait dans le monde là dehors.
And that's why in the world outside, when people need to have riches or wealth, what do? Many of them give their soul.
En fait, non,
Because your soul is linked directly, or at least prosperity is linked directly with the state of your soul.
La prospérité liée.
Prosperity is linked directly with the state of your soul. So even if you have a soul that's attached with God, if your soul is not clean, if your mind is not clean, then you cannot receive the revelation of God. I want to tell you, my friend, why your aunt, you know why your grandparents with only a penny, they send their children to school and they make you a doctor or engineer, and you have a business and you cannot take care of yourself. Your mother gave education to 10 children with a bag of pistachios, but you have a business and you can't take care of yourself. It's to show you that wealth is first spiritual. Your mother woke up and received a vision. It said, go out to the city, take this land, sell some of it, buy 2 cows. She bought 2 cows and he said, sell it, go to Port-au-Prince. She goes to Port-au-Prince and she comes back. Look at what she's doing, and she built a house and she sent you to school, she made your education, you became a doctor, you became a lawyer, you became an engineer, and yet you, at this level, you have knowledge more than her, and you cannot do anything. Because your mind is controlled. The devil controls your mind through a bunch of different means. My dear friends in the Lord, prosperity is first immaterial. Prosperity is first spiritual. Prosperity is first linked to the soul. So in other terms, my dear friends, if you're living in a toxic environment, if you're living in a place, in an environment where your husband or your wife, everything that they do, or the people that are around you, everything that they do, they just blame you or remind you of your errors, or everything that you do is not important, you're in an area that's toxic and your mind cannot be at ease. And when your mind cannot be at peace, then you're in total confusion, and God cannot speak with you. God cannot communicate with you because first your mind is not at ease. Your mind is not at peace. And that's why, look and see, those who are always in gossip, look at how their lives are, because you don't have time for God to communicate with you. Your positive thoughts or good thoughts or good ideas to change your life. If you're in an environment where each and every day your mind cannot be at ease, you're always angry, you're in a toxic environment, and God cannot ease you. You cannot receive the revelation of God. You cannot receive the message of God. So your life cannot change. And that is why God taught us this through the psalmist. We read again in Psalm 127 verse 2.
En vain vous levez-vous matin, vous couchez-vous tard.
You do efforts, it's true. You wake up early in the morning, you go to work, you go to school, You enter very
Pour
late
coucher.
when you
Pour
rest,
faire un.
but you do it
Pour
in
qui ça?
vain. Why?
Imaginez-vous le pain de douleur. Il en donne autant à ses bien-aimés pendant leur sommeil.
Parce que bon Dieu baille
Because
autant
God gives these
à ses
things
bien-aimés
to His beloved
pendant leur sommeil.
while they
Le
sleep.
sommeil veut dire ici.
Sleep
Au
here
moment de la
means at the moment
méditation.
of
Au
meditation,
moment lors
at the
d'un
moment
détachement.
when you
Pour détacher le
detach
sucre du
the
soma.
soma
détacher
and
l'esprit
sight,
ou le
when you
corps.
detach the
C'est le
mind
moment
with the
du
body,
sommeil.
that's the moment
Mais
of sleep.
regarde ça,
But let me tell you something, my
Si
friend.
pendant toute journée,
If throughout the
ça
whole
dans
day,
l'esprit,
the
c'est
only thing that was in your
TikTok.
mind
Si
was
pendant toute
TikTok,
journée,
if throughout the whole
ça
day,
fouille dans l'esprit, c'est
what
Facebook.
you put in your mind
Si
is
pendant toute
Facebook,
journée,
if throughout the
ça
whole
fouille
day,
dans l'esprit,
what you put in your
c'est
mind is
Instagram. Si
Instagram,
pendant toute journée,
if throughout the whole
ça
day,
fouille dans l'esprit,
what you're
c'est
putting in your
zen.
mind is
Nous comptons tous
gossip.
zen, qui
You
mettent
know,
le
all the
travail. Nous comptons
gossips
tous zen
that
dans
are
notre
everywhere,
artiste. Nous
that
comptons
are
tout le monde
with
qui a
all
fait
the artists, you know, everything that's making jokes on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok. If throughout the whole day, all the things on your mind is gossip, if throughout the day, my friend, it's only enjoyment that's in your mind, it's only sex that's on your mind, it's only these things on your mind, it's alcohol and drugs. If throughout the whole day, my friend, it's only in disputes or speaking ill of others, it's only speaking a lot, then the moment of sleep, what do you have to receive? You're in total confusion. You're in total confusion because there's no means for God to communicate with you. There's no way for God to communicate with you. I want to tell you today that if you want your life to change, you need to first change the way your lifestyle. Give God time for Him to communicate with you. Free your mind, free your thoughts of everything that wants to hold you as hostage, and give space for God to speak with you. Make God give you a bunch of money and blessings.